Hello viewers, well now it's time for another look at WRC 2. Now this is a very early code that I was sent a couple of weeks ago, so I can't show you any complete rallies on this section. The menu screens are not complete, the graphics are not complete, the lighting's not complete, the steering input hasn't been correctly implemented, so I can't drive it as I would do. But I thought what I'd do is just give you a tour through some of what I've seen so far, and I'll guide you through that as well. Let's check some of this out. Okay viewers, so here we are then seeing a bit more WRC rally action. Again, first chance using the wheel, but I should point out, of course, as ever, that it's not been finished yet, and so there's still lots of fine-tuning in place. Here racing Finland, I decided to select the key stages that were closest to completion, a bit more representative of the game. Otherwise, you know, so much of the game isn't complete that there's very little that I can actually show you apart from what we've seen already. But obviously Finland has appeared in the first game, and here we see it again. Improved lighting, improved textures, there is alterations to handling, but as I say, until I receive the final game, I'm not going to say too much about that. You'll notice lots of these little cuts in it. At the moment there's still bits and pieces that they're working on, the odd invisible wall or whatever, and I don't like to show all that stuff because it's not representative for the final game. So there's a couple of odd crash incidents which occur, which probably won't happen in the final build, and I just like to make sure that those aren't necessarily representing the game on these videos. So if you know the original game, you'll know this section very well, very slow through here, cut through that, and then we've got a few other bits and pieces just further in the stage, and taking all that as well. Very wide open stages of Finland. You know, this received some criticism last year. It's not necessarily representing the Finnish rally. Some aspects do, but then there's also tight forest sections that aren't necessarily featured in the game. And it's something that rally fans are looking forward to as a game that represents the sport. Will WRC do this? You know, at the moment, we'll hold judgment until we get the final game, because I always like to wait for that. Certainly moving ahead in graphics is essential. They have improved the frame rate as well. As I say though, this is just a tour of the stages, get a little feel. Move on now to Germany here. So I turned the corner there and the car didn't go where I expected it to at all, and I realised then that's it, I'm not going to go much above 4th gear. So this is more of a tour of the stage rather than a proper rally drive. I didn't feel I could push at all. As soon as I tried to push, the car would lose it. Get into a slide and something right, you know, I hope that that's early handling and a lot of that's going to be sorted out. Some cars were better than others, some cars clearly needed some work, so no doubt they'll work on this. I have actually altered the steering slightly to suit myself, make it a bit more immediate. There was a lot of understeer and delay in the steering initially. Handbrake there seems to be almost too powerful. You know, I'd actually say that it's quicker to just use the foot brake and drive into the corner rather than use a handbrake at the moment. You do lose a lot of speed. It takes the slightest touch to spin you out on some surfaces at the moment. So that's something which, actually under acceleration it felt okay. I thought I had a bit of control over the car under acceleration, but as I say, it's still an early build. Nice to see the improved graphics and lighting though. I mean, obviously it's last year's stages, but they're all looking a bit better, just a bit of polish. Some would argue that it's last year's game that's been completed, but though these stages are wide, you do kind of recognise them as German. I mean, when you're watching the German rally, you do kind of recognise it, but obviously it doesn't represent the entire rally, merely a stage of the rally. And we've talked before about ideas that developers can use in, strapping a camera to a car and copying it, honestly, because that's what we want. We want to drive the WRC rally. We want to see the stages and the crowds and the atmosphere, you know, the textures and the dirt, and you know, the car getting smashed along the journey and having to be repaired. All of these things are what comes into the whole rally atmosphere. I always say the journey, because you know you go through hills and valleys, and you know, it's something that often rally games over recent times haven't represented. Again, touching handbrake there and the car just lost it. I honestly don't feel comfortable using the handbrake at the moment, but again, this is an early handling, so I'll wait until we receive a later build on that down the hill. We'll come to the town section shortly. Actually, I was hitting the little boxes. I didn't realise they were what was damaging my car. I thought you could hit them without any damage, but obviously there's some damage in there when you hit those at the moment. We'll come to the final section. You see a little cut there as well, just the barriers that need to be fixed. And that concludes the Rally of Germany, or the first stage anyway. Obviously that's not the full stage, I've got some bits and pieces out there. Move to France now. So again, I'm driving the 2010 car here, Sebastian Loeb. Again, the handling wasn't necessarily comfortable with it, wasn't necessarily able to go through the gears as I would like. We'll await the final version to see how that's going to handle as well. At least I can give it a little bit more welly in some of these sections. The screen is a tad blue there, apologise for that. That's simply down to the camera filming the screen and the sort of hue that was on the screen at the time. There was a kind of bluish hue to this stage. So I'm able to get a few more slides out of this car. I'm assuming the handling on this car is much more similar to what you'd have seen in the 2010 game. It still doesn't necessarily suit my driving style at all at the moment. I wasn't tiptoeing through this stage. Might not look it here, but I was. You're also hearing direct feed audio as well, giving it that extra bit of grunt there. Actually, it sounds, the sort of blown out sound of the distorted audio actually sounds quite good on the car. It sounds much more angry sort of engine sounds than you would hear in the final game. But the one thing that they have retained that I'm very disappointed about is the co-driver. The co-driver is enormously irritating. You know, please take him out. You know, I think the comments from the co-driver should be supportive, not constantly having a go. You know, you just want to punch him in the face half the time. Yeah, the co-driver has got to be changed at this stage. It's no good. These comments. I think you know, other games handle it differently, and I think it's something that they need to work on. Co-driver needs to be changed. So these are all from the French stages. I've gone through the first couple of stages. There are some serious handling issues on a couple of them, and so I didn't complete the stage. And I think there's one in this section as well here somewhere. So you can't see very well when you get onto this dirt. It's really hard picking out the actual track. Trees all seem very short in that section as well. Oh, this was it. The car already starts damaged at the moment. Ignore that. That will be sorted in the final game, no doubt. And I hit a very strange piece of ground here that kept spinning me off, and I thought, well, I'm just not going to run the stage at the moment. That was there. I couldn't put my foot down on that section. The car just span out, and all through that section the car just wouldn't be stable. So now on to Sweden. Again, it's had an improvement in textures and look. This is very early handling, so I'm not going to show too much of this one at the moment, but we will keep a close eye on it. And as I say, this is all very early days, and when we get the final version I can drive it all properly and then give you proper feedback on handling stuff like that. But right now I'm getting understeer, it's all over the place, really tough to drive with any kind of speed at all. That's it for now for WRC, and I'll have a little chat about it at the end of this video. Okay, so still a long way to go on this build then at the moment. I mean, I don't have an opinion on handling. I can't give an opinion until it's all in place. And as I say, to the whole feel of it. And obviously they've built on last year's game, and know many people would have liked them to have started from scratch. This is the journey that Black Bean are taking with it. How good the final game is, it really depends at the moment on how the package comes together, really. Does it replicate WRC as a sport is the main thing, and that's going to be a decision that will make as we play through the game, I think, and it's coming out during a very competitive period as well. Lots of big racing games to come. But that's it for now on the WRC2 coverage. Hopefully we'll have more in the future, and as I get that, I'll bring it to you all. But that's it for now, viewers. More soon.